In the past 1 year, online retailers are experiencing a surge of new shoppers, but these newcomers are 5 to 7 times more likely to be declined. It is therefore very critical for retailers to better understand the reasons and impact of these false declines. Our next speaker has more than 10 years of deep experience in payments and e-commerce. Nishtha Narula is a seasoned strategic partnerships executive at Forta Asia Pacific. Prior to Forta, she was responsible for managing commercial relationships with top clients of PayPal in the Southeast region. Ladies and gentlemen, Nishtha will be coming up next, but do stay tuned and we'll be back shortly.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining our session today. I really hope you are enjoying the Smart Retail Conference so far. The topic for our discussion today is New User Missed Opportunity, or as we call it, NUMO. Before I jump into agenda, let me take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Nishtha Narula. I am based in Singapore and I lead APAC Strategic Partnerships at Forta. Today, we are going to discuss what is New User Missed Opportunity, why should online retailers such as yourself care about it, what is driving NUMO, and how can e-commerce professionals and online retailers like yourself capture more customers and more revenue. So you have heard me say New User Missed Opportunity a few times. So what is it? As most of you are probably experiencing yourself, there is a surge in first-time online shoppers since COVID. Forta's data shows that in the first half of 2020, the new online buyers doubled versus the same period in 2019. New users typically come with high expectations. They are not just shopping for products. In fact, they are also evaluating online merchants to shop from, and hence first impressions really count. Any gap in expectation versus actual experience, whether it's because of friction in the journey or unwarranted decline at any point, can lead to increase in cart abandonment. In spite of this reality, online retailers often end up declining legitimate first-time buyers. In fact, our data shows that new consumers are declined at 5 to 7 times higher rate than returning customers. This should already raise red flags for online retailers. However, the problem is even more serious, as 40% of those declined new consumers will never return to that merchant site again. We often hear merchants spending significant resources, including marketing dollars, to drive traffic to their website, or stocking up on inventory, or getting their backend ready to fulfill their customer orders. However, all of this goes to waste when merchants end up declining that legitimate new shopper. So when a new shopper is declined, you are not just at the risk of missing that first purchase, but you are also the subsequent purchases from that one customer. On top of it, this also drives up your marketing and operation cost while lowering the efficiency. So what does this lead to? This basically means millions of dollars missed in potential revenue from these new customers. Let's take a few minutes to dive into what is NUMO. Why do online retailers end up missing revenue from new customers? There are two key reasons driving this behavior. Firstly, it is because of the way fraud is managed today. Most of the e-commerce players that we speak to are unable to identify good users from bad users. When a new user comes to a merchant's website, they don't have enough information about this customer to accurately determine whether this person can be trusted or not. Secondly, the problem arises due to use of inefficient fraud prevention tools that drive high friction to distinguish between good and bad customers. These tools or rule-based systems are often rigid or reactive and can make a new user appear like a fraudster. As I mentioned, online retailers don't always have the user data to make the right decision. Basically, you want to reject bad customers or fraudsters, but you don't want to reject good shoppers. So, what data is required to make an accurate decision? Well, it comprises of three distinct categories: purchasing behavior and history, non transaction data, and past behavior. Let's look at each one of this in a little more detail. So, the first one is behavior and interaction on other merchants' website. What's their typical behavior on those platforms? For example, is this customer used to browsing multiple items from different brands, reading customer reviews, comparing price, or do they typically know the product and the brand they want to buy and add it to their shopping cart directly? Second would be purchasing behavior and history. For example, what's the typical payment method they use? What's their average order value? What kind of items do they usually buy? Lastly, non-transaction behaviors like coupon usage or reward points or exchange of items. Of course, all these information won't be available to you as you are seeing this user for the first time on your platform. Hence, you need a partner who can connect the dots and create a more complete picture of the new users. A lot of merchants that we speak to often describe their current fraud strategy that looks something similar to what you see on the screen here. So if you focus on the middle portion of the slide, there is a legacy rule-based system that utilizes hard attributes like email ID, credit card, or shipping address to do a risk scoring. Sometimes merchants also use an external data enrichment tool like age of the email to gather additional insights, or they use a off-the-shelf machine learning model. Now, the problem with this traditional approach is fraudsters have become incredibly sophisticated. They are able to bypass these rudimentary rules fairly easily. The end result is you end up approving fraudsters while declining a lot of legitimate shoppers, ultimately leading to lower revenue or more and more orders being sent for manual review. According to a study done by AITE Group, online retailers can lose up to 75 times more revenue to false declines than they do due to fraud. Besides lost revenue, this approach also prevents you from scaling your operations, especially during peak times like holiday season, and can lead to increase in your chargeback and fraud rates. These challenges are further compounded when you consider other use cases like buy online, pick up in store, and policy abuse cases like promotion abuse, loyalty point abuse, etc. So now coming to the most important question. How can we solve this problem? What can we do to help retailers such as yourself capture more revenue from first-time users? You need a platform that empowers you to trust new customers and remove any friction across the customer journey that negatively impacts their overall experience with your brand. You need to provide your first-time shoppers with a smooth sign-up experience, allow them to log in seamlessly, and not reject them at the point of transaction. When you do this, customers will reward your brand with their loyalty and will return back to your website for frequent purchases. When we think about brands that do this exceptionally well, we think of Amazon with their seamless one-click purchase, or perhaps personalized content that gets delivered by brands like Spotify and Netflix. And when we think about commonalities between these brands and how they are able to deliver these experiences, the foundation of it is trust. They use data, machine learning, and automation to deliver a consumer experience based on a foundation of trust. So, the key to approving more users or building the foundation of trust is to identify legitimate shoppers from fraudsters. If you see the iceberg here, on the left-hand side, you see a new user, and on the right-hand side, there is a known fraudster. If you look at only the hard attributes, the new user appears like a known fraudster, whom you would have most likely blocked from your platform because their email IDs, their device ID, even their IP addresses are similar. So, if you are using a rule-based system that solely relies on these hard attributes, you will most likely end up making a wrong decision when this new user appears on your platform. Hence, it is important that you move away from a superficial detection system to an in-depth analysis platform. When you use a more sophisticated platform like Footer, you can uncover the details beneath the tip of the iceberg and realize that new user is completely different from the known fraudster. Their shopping behavior, clicking heat map, pages visited, time spent on the website, all of it is totally different. Hence, when you understand the full picture and similarities or dissimilarities better, you can make better approve or decline decisions. So, how does Footer works? Instead of relying on those restrictive fraud rules and depending solely on the static data points that we talked about in the previous slide, Footer is proactively analyzing the customer the second they land on your website or on your mobile app. We analyze more than 6,000 data points about the customer in real time, comprising of device information, behavioral data, and cyber intelligence data. As a result, Footer is able to evaluate trustworthiness at every point across the customer journey, not just at checkout. Also, we are able to provide 100% real-time approve or decline decisions in under 1 second. In certain cases, we also trigger multi-factor authentication or provide a custom response that's tailored specifically to your business. All of this helps you to understand and trust your first-time shopper better. Here is a cool video of how Footer platform works.
As businesses grow and fraud evolves, traditional fraud checks fall short. So protection is layered on, but no tool has the full picture. This results in good customers getting declined, and they may not come back. To make the right calls, you need a single identity-based platform. With Footer, you know whether each customer can be trusted in under a second. Combining data from our global merchant network with fraud analytics and expertise, our fully automated platform is tailored to your business and delivers industry-leading accuracy, not only at checkout, but at any touch point. Approve more shoppers, deliver new experiences, and adapt without risk, no matter how your business and the world changes.
So what can Footer provide in terms of ROI? On an average, Footer is able to deliver up to 10% increase in top-line revenue by helping you approve more legitimate shoppers. Also, we know that while it's critical to approve more customers, it's equally important to keep your fraud losses and operational costs low. Hence, we also enable up to 90% reduction in chargebacks and up to 50% reduction in operational expenses like manual review cost. On top of this, Footer also provides online retailers access to 850 million unique digital identities that we have in our ecosystem. So we empower you with a global network to help you make better approve or decline decisions. Now I would like to share a couple of case studies with you. First one is of a Chinese fashion e-commerce giant selling to more than 100 countries globally. Originally, they were working with a legacy rule-based system, but they were keen to improve their approval rates and lower their chargeback rates. Hence, they came to Footer, and we were able to perform better and more accurately than their previous fraud engine. We delivered 72% improvement in their chargeback rate and improved their approval rate by 81%. We were also able to scale and handle all their peak season volume, especially around 11/11, 12/12, Black Friday and Christmas period. Another important factor for this Chinese merchant was local support, and we provided them implementation and customer success support in Mandarin language. The other case study I have is of a beauty and e-commerce merchant. They are a leading omni-channel brand operating across more than 50 countries globally, including Malaysia. They were facing two key challenges. Manual review was slowing their decisioning, and they were not able to fulfill their customer orders instantaneously. Secondly, their decline rate was pretty high, while their chargeback rate was also climbing. When they started using Forter, we were able to reduce their manual reviews by 80%, hence speeding their decision-making process. They could fulfill their customer orders instantaneously, leading to a better customer experience. Forter also reduced their chargeback rate by 90% while reducing their declines by 75%. This overall led to a revenue uplift of $10 million. Also, when they started using Forter, we were able to reduce their manual review orders by 80%. So let's see a video of what Forter customers have to say about us.
Customer has to put their credit card across the line. It's incredibly important that they trust the system they're using, and it's incredibly important that we trust the customer.
The retailer doesn't have trust in what we are sending them or the technology that we are using. They have the right to go work with somebody else. So maintaining that trust is super important.
Forter has definitely helped my day-to-day life here at Delivery. We don't have to have a team that's dedicated to determining whether or not someone's actually fraudulent. Forter simply gives us a decision, and then we just process it.
The network is great to be able to tap into because not only is Forter checking our own transactions, but they're comparing it against the entire network.
Forter can paint the holistic picture through their personas that they put together to really tie that information together. So I think they have a holistic picture that the providers don't have today.
Fraud prevention done the right way enables safe growth. Being able to extend our existing product base and offer them safely in markets that we had previously been a bit worried about is not a problem.
Our approval rate has gone up to 98.9%. So this pretty much means all of our genuine customers are going straight through the system, and only the fraudsters are getting hooked.
So here are some of the leading global and regional brands that we closely work with. As you can see, these brands are spread across different verticals and different geographies. So this brings me to the end of our presentation today. I really hope you found the session useful and actionable. I think we have time for some questions, so I would love to take some audience questions here. Thank you.
Sure. How strong is Forter in the region?
Okay, that's another good one. So Forter has a strong footprint in APAC region, and that's one of our key strengths. So we have invested in robust local resources because we believe in providing tailor-made solution to our customers and partners. So on the ground, the team consists of solution consultants, analysts, customer success, implementation, and partnerships team. So we have offices in Singapore, where I'm based. We have offices in Sydney and Shanghai also. And we are opening our Japan office tomorrow. Everyone in our team has deep payments background and e-commerce background. So we are a pretty strong team. And
nice.
Yeah, so this is in terms of our customer base, in terms of our team. But I also just wanted to highlight our customer base in this region, which is also very strong. So during my presentation, you would have seen that I had shared one case study from China. Also, we have many more customers in key markets like China, Southeast Asia, Australia, Korea. And these are spread across different industries like apparel, electronics, furniture, marketplaces, buy now, pay later platforms. So yeah, so we have strong customer base and strong team in APAC region.
Thank you. And also congratulations on opening the new Japan office.
Thank you.
Sorry, we have two more questions
Okay.
for you. So okay, this is an interesting one. Does Forte also work with PSPs or e-wallets?
So yeah, the short answer is yes, we do. So besides working with merchants directly, we also work with PSPs or payment service providers. We work with e-wallets, we work with crypto platforms, buy now later platforms. So Forte's mission is to power an ecosystem of trust for consumers, merchants, banks, and payment providers. So we work with all the players involved in this ecosystem. And I would just like to highlight here the way PSPs typically manage fraud. So PSPs have their usually have their own rule-based system, or they apply 3DS for every transaction to manage fraud. And over a period of time, they realized that it's inherently problematic approach, especially when processing payments for high-risk verticals or for high-dollar volumes, because they end up reducing the approval rate of their merchants. It negatively impacts their merchants' approval rates. So that's why PSPs, they work with us, they like Forte's tailored approach based on machine learning. Because we are able to evaluate customer behind each transaction, and we are able to treat that individual customer differently. So also just one last thing I would like to highlight here is that our solution is payment method agnostic, and we don't recommend one method or processor over another. So we work with all of them.
All right, wonderful. Oh, that's really cool. So I guess your experience with PayPal really did come in handy, with your current position.
Absolutely. So payments and fraud, they go hand in hand. So I'm fortunate that I have that payments background, which really helps me understand fraud better.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I remember this is just a little tidbit, because since we're talking, I remember working for a payment service provider, and I remember I was that salesperson that would have to go through all of the the clients to approve, and there are a lot of situations in which they can't. So it's great that this is new technology that can help tailor this that can provide this service to them. So thank you. And we also have another question for you. So you spoke about more than 800 million unique digital identities in your system. Can you share this data with us?
Actually, that's a very important question. I get this question all the time. So Forte's platform, we are uniquely architectured with security and privacy as our priority. So we use the power of our network, the 800 million unique digital identities that you were mentioning, to inform our online retailers of our decision about whether a particular customer can be trusted or not. However, any customer or merchant data is logically separated in our system, and the transaction records are never shared nor available to other clients. So if I can summarize, online retailers, they do benefit from being part of a network by receiving highly accurate approved decline decisions because of these 800 million unique identities. However, individual customer or transaction data is never shared.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nishtha, for your presentation. I've enjoyed it a lot. Thank you. She's dialing in all the way from Singapore, guys. So for everyone, all of you guys there, just like give a thumbs up in the comment section or something to say hi to Nishtha and thanks. So bye, Nishtha. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for everybody who joined today. I hope we covered all your questions. But if you have any further questions, you can reach out to me at nishtha.narula@forte.com. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.